Good morning and welcome to DCT, Deep Coherence Technique, and take the DCT 28-day challenge. They run together. Now, today is day 21, and I don't have a script. I had prepared information this week. Let me just back up. So all this week, we're going to be discussing high agency, which is a fancy way of saying take action. So we've spent the past 21 days observing, noticing what we notice. We found, we've discovered certain habits, certain things, and one of those things we have chosen to hack away at, to remove, to look at, to explore, to go deeper with. Just one habit. So I recently shared that I had given up, slashed and burned a bad habit. And something happened over the weekend that I really just want to share. And this is why it's unscripted. So I was in my garden, and it relates to what we're talking about, bad habits. And I noticed a ton of ivy growing up this beautiful young oak tree. And I don't know why I always think of oak trees as boys and girls, males and females. And the vibe this one was giving me was male. And I have seen this tree just shoot up from a sapling, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure to see how he's growing. And I always keep an eye out. And anyway, I noticed ivy the other day, so I went down there at the weekend with my shears, and I went over to him, and one side of his trunk was about two-thirds up, was completely covered in the ivy, but it had reached as high as my head, so I was quite able to start where it was easiest. So pulling the little suckers, the little feelers, the little branches that come up and cling on to the tree itself. And they came off really easily. And there was about 20 of them. They came off really, really easily. And I was pulling away. And I noticed as I pulled away each of the little branches that stuck onto the tree of ivy with all the ivy leaves on it, I turned it over and I saw it was like a centipede's legs. It was like hundreds and hundreds of tiny, fibrous little roots, little suckers, and they stick onto the side of the tree's bark, and they cling on, obviously, because they're using it to grow, as a structure to grow from. But they can also extract, minutely something from the tree. So anyway, there I was, happily hacking away and pulling all these things off, and I suddenly looked down and I realized I had the wrong tool. I had bought a pair of shears down. And I looked down and I just saw that all of those branches led down into three solid branches that were like, I'm going to show you, about that thick, quite thick. And then right at their base, it was about that thick. That was the root. It was one root, three bigger roots, three bigger branches. And then out of those three branches, there were about 25 of these things that were creeping up the side of the tree itself. So the only thing to get through that route was a saw, and that would mean me going up all the way up to the other end of the garden, going through the back room, going through all the tools, and trying to find a saw, which I probably misplaced somewhere. So I didn't do it. So I have to go back and do that. I have to go back, and I can't just stop at sawing that root. I have to then get a shovel and dig that root up, because that ivy is just going to grow back. I mean, you get the analogy. It just struck me so as a coincidence, because at the same time, what I noticed when I gave up one bad habit, it's as though my bad habit went, oh right, well, she's on us on this bad habit. Let's go over here. Let's go over here. And I found myself just, overeating with sugar. Just found myself doing that. Almost like there was almost like a reward. Well, you're not watching YouTube late at night. Good for you. You've given up that bad habit. So reward yourself over here. Now, in AA and addiction programs, other modalities too, they talk about this fact that when you deal with one habit, one bad habit, one addiction, that if you don't go to the root of the problem, it's gonna sprout up somewhere else, and it's gonna do the same thing, but with a slightly different flavor. In this respect, sugar. It could be anything. It could be any kind of addictive behavior. So that was the first thing that kind of struck me today when I was preparing. Usually I like to prepare some show notes, but I didn't today. I just decided I was going to tell you that story because it made me realize that I need to get to the root of why I do what I do. I've got some ideas. I've read a lot of books. I've done some therapy. I've done some release work, but there's some roots here, deep, deep roots. But the question is, and this is the question that we're going to be asking all week, is the root of your bad habits a hungry ghost, hungry ghosts, more than one, or wounded children? I'll explain the difference really quickly. A hungry ghost is just something you've been doing forever. It's a bad habit. You're just lazy. It's just laziness. You do it because you're lazy, or there's a loop that goes around in your head that says to do it. You've rewired your brain a certain way, and it's just a case of rewiring your brain. There's nothing at the bottom of it except a little bit of laziness, and you've got to get past that. If you do some heavy lifting around it, it's going to disrupt it and it's going to get rid of it. Negative loop thinking is the same. You got to just pull it out and you got to just cut it off. That's a hungry ghost. And Gabor Mate talks about different aspects of our thought looping. The other one is the wounded child. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean something in childhood. It's just that you've gone through something, and we all have in life. This is a hard planet to be on a lot of the time. It's a hard planet. You've gone through something in your life, maybe more than one thing at different times in your life. And because of how life is lived, you can't take a break. You got to go back to work. You got to get the kids to school. You got to go to school, and life moves on, right? You can't stop and sit with what's happened. Most of us don't heal from things that have happened. So we're carrying around wounded parts of ourselves. They never die. They become roots, and they become roots that signal, and they create behaviors that are all aimed at either calls to attention. So a habit that's going to definitely get your attention negatively. Think about how children sometimes do want to get your attention negatively. It's the only way they can get your attention sometimes, which is sad. So it's negative attention, or it's self-soothing. It's some kind of self-soothing thing, and it's filling that void, that dark hole, that abyss, that pain, that void, that nothingness that feels like just somewhere you don't want to go. And it's that drives our impulses, and it's our impulses that live in our unconscious mind, and it's our unconscious mind that controls our habits. So go back to the analogy of the ivy on that tree. You get the point. You got the root, you got where it forks out from, and then you got the 25 different things that are a manifestation of that problem, that root. And you got to get to the root and dig it out so that it doesn't grow back. And those things that are growing on the tree they're not just doing nothing. They're taking energy from the tree. And that's what being on autopilot, which is another way of saying living unconsciously, same habits, different day, Groundhog Day, living that way, feeling empty inside, having nagging feelings. It's this program is designed to get us to look there. Now, it isn't a substitute for therapy. I'm not a therapist, but I am in the trenches with you. I am a human being, and I've gone through stuff, a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of stuff left in my life that I want to heal from and clear up. But right now I'm just talking about this one thing, and that's all I want you to concentrate. This 28 days is about one thing, that one thing. But let that one thing this week, let's do an exploration. So as you're working on it, as you're working on digging it out and pulling it and exposing it, Let's take a deeper dive and see how far down this habit goes, because you're worth it. You're worth it. And we can make time, even if it's just half an hour a day, like we're doing. We can do it, and we can do it together. You're not alone. There's plenty of people in my community that are working through things. So you don't have to do this by yourself. You can join us. It's a free community. I'll add the link below, and you can get a lot more of the resources that we use in this program. So think about that today. Taking action. What's the bad habit? What's behind? Just ask the question. What's behind this bad habit? Is it a hungry ghost, a phantom, non-living, something I can just, you know, exorcise, banish, delete? Or is it a wounded child part of me, a wounded aspect of me that needs my attention and healing? That's the question. Now, coherence is going to help you problem solve, because no matter how good the therapist is, at the end of the day, you do the work. So, coherence is what we practice in DCT, a 5-step meditation technique. And what we're doing is we're generating a waveform called coherence. Now, it's not just being peaceful and calm. It's about bringing clarity, focus, grounded, now present moment awareness. That sounded like a mouthful, but you know what I'm saying. Being grounded, being present, being coherent in your own life so that you can problem solve what's coming up for you. That's what we're going to generate today. And I'm going to teach you how to do it if it's your first time. Easy to do, 5 steps. So when I've done a lot of talking and I've been up here, I just take a few deep breaths. Now, a lot of the time we're told that to bring stillness and silence to our mind, we've got to focus on the mind. I take an opposite approach. I focus on my body. And what I discover is when I focus on my body, the stillness of the mind follows the body. And we start with step number 1. And step number 1 is that we are grounded. We are grounded to the earth. So if you're able to put your feet, no shoes and socks, on the ground. If you don't want to stand and do DCT, you can sit like a yoga position. Have a part of your body, though, that is connected to the earth, a part of your body. Could be your back. So I'm going to refer to the feet. So put your feet flat on the ground, and I want you to bring awareness to the soles of your feet. We don't often think about our feet, but drop down. Become your feet. Not become one with your feet, become your feet. Your feet are you. That's you down there. It's not separate. So bring your focus down to the soles of your feet. Feel every bit of the skin, of the tissue, of the muscle, of the toes, of the pads. Feel the arch. Feel the ball of your heel. And bring your attention to the sides of your feet, the delicate sides of your feet that dust the floor when they step down. Now hold that feeling of the soles of your feet, and now become aware of the ground beneath your feet. Become aware of the ground beneath your feet. Become aware of the texture, any sensations, the temperature. and feel the difference between the soles of your feet and the ground beneath your feet. And now collapse the separation and make them one. One. And now drop your awareness down through the ground beneath your feet. And as you do so, in your mind's eye, you see a gigantic network of very fine roots. These roots are like the fascia in your body. They're fine, they're everywhere, they're a huge network, and they go down, 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 and down through the layers of the earth, like the roots of a tree. So become those roots. Become those roots, for you are one with them. And drop your focus and attention down, 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 all the way until you reach the center of the earth herself. There you notice that all of your roots become one, and that one root is connected to the earth's core. It is round, it is solid, it is black. Connect through the earth's core and become one with it. Find yourself inside the earth's core. It is black. It is warm. It is familiar. And that is from here that you realize that you are connected to every living thing and system on this planet from the earth's core. So feel that connection to everything. And feel that resonance of the earth. It's like a vibration. Feel that vibrating all over your body. Vibrating. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that resonance from the earth's core and we're going to draw it up through that root system. And we're going to take it up, up, up. And I want you to see it as a golden amber sap that is being sucked up from the earth's core. Up, 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 until it reaches the ground beneath your feet. Now feel that grounding frequency, resonance, energy, vibration swirling around your feet, spiraling like little tornadoes. And they're going to keep doing this until they go up and through every nook and cranny in your body. Every part of your body is going to be filled with this vibration. And I'm going to count from 10 to 1. And when I get to 1, this vibration and resonance from the earth's core will literally be vibrating all over your body, including your head. And the only thing you have to do is let go. Just let go. Just focus on me counting. 10. 9. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Feel that whoosh of energy surging up from the earth, through your feet, through your body, vibrating. Step number 1, you are grounded. Step number 2, we're going to activate the light body. And how you do that is you breathe in the breath of life, which is prana. Visualize as we breathe a bright white light that as you breathe goes all the way through your body and flushes out any toxins, anything that doesn't need to be there, and revitalizes your body with every exhale. We're going to breathe in deeply 5 times, breathing in through the nose. Going to count 4. We're going to exhale through the mouth. And I like to visualize this as a series of waves coming in and out from the cosmos. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. So you're breathing with the cosmos, breathing in the energy of Om itself. So let's do that 5 times. So keep mindfully breathing like this, deep breaths, slow, but don't force it. Let it feel like a driving or a waveform, in and out, in and out, in and out, as we continue. Step number 2, activate the light body through breath, complete. Step number 3, we are going to connect with the greater us, the us that is truly us. It's the biofield. It's your electromagnetic field. It's all around you, arm's length, top of your head, bottom of your feet, fingertips. And we don't often think about this space. But this is a really important part of you. And it's time for us to get to know this space because it's intelligent. It is the local quantum field that is permeated with our intentions, our dreams, our desires, our hopes, and our fears and our doubts. So it's really good. Use your hands like me to fan through it and feel the energy and really connect. This is a sensory step. We don't think about what we're doing. We just move and we feel. And I'm going to say, if you're brand new, all I want you to do is bring your attention to your fingers in your hands and notice any tingling or heat, or notice anything different in the air around you. Does it feel, for example, thicker? Are there places that you're drawn to move through? Well, go there. Now, eventually, you become so in touch with your electromagnetic field that all you have to do is do this. Move your hands as though they're satellite dishes, and you can scan your electromagnetic field 360. And if there is a problem, if there's a friction or a blockage, you can locate it and you can blast it with light coming from your hand. That's how powerful you are. But that's another class. I'm just giving you the expedited notes here. So connect, feel. Everything that happens to you comes to you through your electromagnetic field first. Every desire, dream, hope, fear, doubt that you have starts here and goes out and is broadcast through your electromagnetic field. So getting in touch with this is really important. If you want to know more, you can just reach out to me because I teach this. Step number 3, electromagnetic field activated and primed. Primed for what? Primed for what comes next. The heart, power activation. Put your hands together, press against your heart. Really push in, really connect to this center. Gently open your hands as if you're opening a portal, which you are. Close your eyes and imagine yourself walking through that portal. You enter into a new space. And we say to you, notice what you notice. It will be different for everybody. Now, this space feels familiar. It is sacred. It's what connects you to the cosmos and the quantum field. To look around, feel it. In this space, there is an incredible light. It fills the space completely. But as you walk to the center, this light becomes a ball of light, very bright, and the ball moves towards you, and you move towards it. There's a magnetism between you and the light. There's a connection that is ancient and familiar, for this is you meeting you. Become one. Become one with that light. And as you do so, the light explodes and becomes a rising sun. A rising, radiant, glorious sun that as it rises out from the heart center of your body, it casts its rays of light in all directions, filling your electromagnetic field with a luminous golden light and empowering your field. Now, we do call this the empowered I am, but you can think of this as your higher power, your unlimited self, the space of genius. So let that power run through your field now. This is who you are, underneath everything. And bring your hands back because we're going to connect with the group. We're going to start calling this power of 9. We're going to connect to the group power of 9, vortex energy. So make a shape like this over your third eye. We're going to connect to every single person on all the different platforms meditating with us right now in DCT. We're going to become one, to see the one circle of light. See that circle of light become a beam of bright, brilliant white light, like a laser beam. See it coming through this triangle, down through the third eye. Wait for permission to connect. And when you feel it, sometimes it takes a few seconds. When you feel that power that comes outside of yourself, it's vortex power. You run that down into your heart. And what the heart does with it is it fans it out and generates a waveform called coherence. So see that bolt of light come down and then turn into a wave or a ripple on a still lake. And that's coherence. Why? Because we're cohering every aspect of our biotechnology through this 5-step technique. So waveform it out, 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 and gone. That wave is going to generate all day long in all directions through your electromagnetic field, informing the quantum field of your highest desires, intentions, and declarations, the highest positive outcomes. Yeah, feel that. Feel what you've just done. That's powerful. Everything starts here. So let's seal the deal. Put your hands together and repeat after me. And so it is. I think I heard you. For I command my space, and I bless my day, and I bless my world and everybody in it. And we leave you with this thought. Notice what you notice in your day to day, because everything starts from here. I'll see you guys tomorrow.